Edward Newgate, more commonly known as Whitebeard, was the captain of the Whitebeard Pirates and was widely known as the strongest man in the world. Whitebeard seemed to have some form of respect for Luffy after hearing about him from both Ace and Shanks. Ace had shown excitement that Luffy was on the Grand Line, and Shanks had stated that he had given up his arm on a bet on the New Age, referring to Luffy. After showing his fierce tenacity, Luffy had managed to gain Whitebeard's respect. Whitebeard went as far as assigning his top commander, Marco, to act as Luffy's bodyguard during the war and would not have forgiven him if Luffy had died. Whitebeard was one of the most powerful pirates in history and one of the most powerful characters in the series. In his prime, he was one of the few able to take on the Pirate King Gol D, Roger, battling him for days to a draw. Due to his incredible strength, he was already feared as the strongest man in the world before Roger's death and the start of Great Age of Pirates. After Roger's death, Whitebeard became one of the 4 emperors, the 4 strongest pirates in the world and the rulers of the New World. In fact, among them, he was considered the closest man to One Piece and the ruler of the sea who stood before the throne and the title of Pirate King. As a testament to this, Whitebeard held not only the highest bounty among his peers, but the second highest in recorded history, at over 5 billion, only behind Roger's own. Whitebeard directly controlled an enormous pirate fleet of 1,600 pirates divided into 16 divisions, each one being led by an incredibly powerful division commander, who could take on admirals and warlords of the sea. Kaido, who is called the world's strongest creature, put Whitebeard in the same elite class as other legendary pirates that actually possessed the strength to stand against him in battle, such as Roger, Kazuki Oden, Shanks, and their former captain. Whitebeard's reputation alone made his simple declaration of Fishman Island being his territory enough to keep slave traders and pirates from attacking the island further, making Whitebeard himself far more effective than the treaty signed with the world government 200 years before his death. People from every ocean were aware of the Emperor's power and seemingly believed that he could end the world if he so wished. Few would dare to challenge him or any of his crew, which makes Ace, Crocodile, Akiji, Akainu, Blackbeard, Kaido, and Luffy very brave and powerful people for just trying. After his death, the entire world fell into chaos, with total victory declared for the Marines and all of Whitebeard's territories no longer considered dangerous, despite the fact that his crew was still alive. Even in his old age, he was able to effortlessly defeat Ace over 100 times, even once while he was sleeping. During the Summit War of Marineford, Newgate's health was declining at a rapid rate due to his refusal to go into battle with life support and medication. Despite this, he was able to engage in combat with Akiji, Kizaru, and Akainu on even terms. After Akainu killed Ace, Whitebeard brutally injured the Admiral in retaliation, with the Admiral being practically helpless in response to Whitebeard's power, temporarily defeating him in a relatively short battle with a mere 2 hits. As a true testament to his strength and reputation, the world government was prepared to use practically the entire Marine force and the 7 warlords of the sea to fight Newgate and his crew, with Sengoku even remarking that their victory was not guaranteed due to Whitebeard's overwhelming power. Whitebeard was given the title of the strongest man in the world for his physical power, which is far superior to even a giant. During the Summit War of Marineford, Whitebeard completely overpowered vast numbers of strong Marine officers and giants with tremendous physical might, such as Vice Admiral Lons, with only one hand and supplemented by his Devil Fruit powers. Whitebeard blocked a 2-handed downward swing from the giant Vice Admiral John Giant with only one hand on his Naginata, extinguished the flames of one of Akainu's molten rocks with just a single breath, and prevented a massive paddle ship from advancing using only one hand. He could jump to great heights to attack large opponents, such as John Giant. In his prime, Newgate was capable of fighting Roger to a standstill in a battle that lasted 3 days and 3 nights. Despite his gigantic size, Whitebeard could move at considerable speeds, having appeared behind Akainu to attack him in a matter of seconds, with the latter, who was on his way to kill Luffy, only realizing it once his soldiers yelled at him to watch out. Whitebeard appeared to have debilitating health problems, possibly stemming from his advanced age and excessive drinking. When not in battle, he was always surrounded by nurses, used oxygen tubes, and was hooked up to intravenous tubes and life support systems. Despite this, he used to literally drink sake by the barrel. However, Marco noted that Whitebeard's health had gotten worse, and he no longer possessed the reflexes to avoid Squard's surprise attack, which was, in the past, something easy for him to achieve. Even with his health issues, Whitebeard was still considered the world's most dangerous and powerful pirate. Whitebeard's physical resistance and pain tolerance were tremendous. He was able to keep fighting despite the number of life-threatening injuries he sustained, which included part of his head being burned off. This also proves that Whitebeard possessed enormous amounts of stamina and endurance. No matter how much damage he took throughout the battle, Whitebeard continued to press forward and fight, only stopping once almost all of the Blackbeard pirates collectively shot and brutally stabbed him to death at point-blank range. It was shown that even in his old age, in a heavily wounded state and without access to his devil fruit and hockey powers, he could near effortlessly take down a warlord of the sea, as demonstrated in his fight against Blackbeard. During the Summit War, Whitebeard sustained 267 sword wounds, 152 gunshot wounds, and 46 wounds from cannonballs, and got a portion of his head blasted off, resulting in 465 injuries in total. In addition, he received one of Kizaru's laser beams and 2 of Akainu's magma blasts. Whitebeard also received a brutal assault from the Blackbeard Pirates. However, even after taking so much damage in his already weakened state, he died standing, an impressive feat when compared to other characters. Even Teach was shocked by Whitebeard's tenacity. Besides his formidable power, Whitebeard was a brilliant leader and an incredibly skilled military strategist, a match for former Fleet Admiral Sengoku, one renowned as the resourceful general for his famed acumen on the field of battle. The Emperor's tactical prowess was demonstrated when he saw through Sengoku's deliberate leak of information regarding a change of schedule for Ace's execution, and when he foresaw the pacifista's arrival at Marineford and scattered the pirates so that they would not be routed by the cyborgs. In addition, Whitebeard could easily adapt to rapidly changing situations even in the heat of battle, as shown when he bypassed a siege wall impervious to his devil fruit powers by having Oars, who was in a near-death state, help carry the paddle ship into the Marineford Plaza. Even when he was on the brink of death, Whitebeard quickly thought of a countermeasure against Teach's devil fruit powers nullification abilities by using his Naginata to cut Teach down, taking him off guard for him to use his quake powers to injure him. Whitebeard ate the Guragura no Mi, a paramecia-type devil fruit that allowed him to cause quakes and generate powerful shockwaves. This power is considered to be the strongest devil fruit power within the paramecia class. According to Sengoku, Whitebeard had the power to destroy the world. He had the power to send incredibly powerful shockwaves through the air, creating cracks in the air itself in the process. These shockwaves possess devastating offensive might, being able to clash evenly with the Magu-Magu no Mi, the devil fruit with the highest attack power out of all the devil fruits. He could use these shockwaves to quickly take down multiple enemies over a widespread area or take down a single target with terrifying effectiveness, even giants. He could also use his shockwaves defensively, as their vast raw power could easily stop incoming attacks. He could also generate strong vibrations from his body that could easily shatter ice. He could use his power to shake, rupture, and tilt the landscape itself. By striking at the general area with his quake powers, he could cause large earthquakes and, under the right circumstances, massive tsunamis. His quakes would cause serious damage and alterations to the surrounding landscape, destroying buildings, creating large crevices in the ground, and pushing up fragments of the ground into new rock formations. He could even grab the surrounding area itself and tilt it, described as making the entire sea tilt. Whitebeard could use his power to enhance his physical attacks by surrounding his hands and feet with concentrated quake bubbles. These quake bubbles would release a small but powerful shockwave on impact, greatly increasing the destructive power of his melee attacks. He could also surround the blade of his polearm with a quake bubble, greatly increasing its destructive power as well. Soon after Whitebeard's death, his power was stolen by Blackbeard through unknown means.